I've already eaten it.
All right.
Did you like it?
Duck tongue was good.
Duck tongue?
Duck tongue was not bad.
Maybe vomit. Oh yeah.
All right. That should all be up and running and good to go. Let me, yeah, I just got to pull up the chat now so I can see the chat. I feel like you deserve to fall out of that chair.
Shut up. Hi, two people.
Hi, two people.
I see you. Hi, four people. I see you.
You two doing?
Why are you like creepily talking into the camera?
They're like, what's that weird whisper?
I'm not here for an ASMR stream.
What's up?
Probably make a lot of money, Nick, if you do this.
You need to.
I
Here's
don't
that
think
out.
it's for me.
Yeah, sure.
You ever thought about talking like,
No.
oh,
Look, I'm gonna ask you something.
Hang on, guys. I'm just pulling up the chat so I can see what you
no,
people
he's
are
not.
saying.
He's struggling.
I am
He
struggling.
doesn't know how to type in YouTube.
I don't. Apparently there's a P.
I
Leah.
wanna have sweet tea.
We can play tomorrow. Guess what?
I
Tomorrow is.
wanna drink sweet tea.
I know, but guess what tomorrow is?
What?
So,
I'm not
those of you who probably remember, Brian was on here right before he went to China. Why don't you talk about how your time in China's been?
Oh man, it was crazy. We'd be here all night. It was awesome. I loved teaching the little kids. It was great. People were awesome. You know, every day was an adventure. It was nuts. I mean, from seeing little kids peeing and pooping on the side of the road to seeing the Great Wall of China, you pretty much saw everything in between.
The people are peeing and pooping on
The
the
kids. You would see like little kids
Why?
because their parents just let them do it.
Also,
It was
That
strange.
still seems weird.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Hi,
one of the-
8 people.
One of the strange things that you would see.
Hi, 8 people. 3 thumbs up.
Oh. Hi, Grape.
It was great.
Grape Water.
Someone who's watching the stream.
Hi, Jonathan.
Oh,
Hi,
shit, right here.
Code Man.
Oh God, there's me.
4 thumbs up.
We're just gonna. Oh, Eric Chalkin, thank you. Buy the kids a treat. Brian actually brought treats. We're about to try a bunch of Chinese snacks. That's
Aw.
chicken feet, by the way.
I want to be in there.
Hmm.
Oh, that's
You
traumatizing.
gonna try all that?
I want to be in the video.
You gonna try all that?
All right.
I want to be in the
There
video.
I'm
we
gonna try chicken feet.
I want to be in the video.
Are you answering the question?
Yeah.
So I've got this oolong tea that he
Yeah.
brought.
Yeah.
Oolong tea. Hey Leah, you want to be in the middle?
There's plenty. There's plenty of.
What was the name of this?
Baiju.
Hi.
Some Baiju stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
this is Baiju alcohol. It's their like, it's what they always drink. So if they ever say, "Oh, hey, you want some wine?" They'll pour you this. Like someone will say it in English, like, "Hey, do you want some wine?" I'm like, "Sure, I'll have some wine." You're like, "Yeah, I'll have some wine." I'm like, "Oh, look, it looks like wine," but it's not. It's like rubbing alcohol.
that
on
does
your
not
drinking.
look like wine.
Well, like it doesn't look like wine, I guess.
It looks
But,
like vodka.
They call it wine, but they're not. It's
That's
not
like
wine.
toilet wine.
Yeah, just drink rubbing alcohol, sniff rubbing alcohol.
So I haven't tried any of this yet. The kids and Valerie have tried a couple of
Let
things.
me stop.
No,
Me and Brian are going to take a shot of that. That was kind of a
I don't know, man.
part of the deal here.
Okay,
It's
this
a
is
shot.
gonna be
It's
fun.
one shot. It's
Yeah.
not going that poorly.
That's all you, boo boo.
Dude, I don't know if I can do shot life.
This
I don't
is
think
gonna
it's a
be
good idea.
fun.
I don't know if I can do shot life. It's one.
Dude, you don't know, man.
I smelled it. I've drank worse.
Take a shot.
Sadly.
I don't know, dude. That's pretty rough.
You've never had moonshine, have
I've had
you?
moonshine. Oh,
Take
yeah, I
a
love
shot.
moonshine.
This
I
was
love
rough.
moonshine. Yeah,
I hate moonshine.
I love moonshine.
Take the shot.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
take it towards the end.
Oh.
That way, if I
Guys,
vomit, it's at least a
This
full
is
stomach.
gonna be gross.
Okay. So what do you want to try first?
That's up to you.
When he
You're-
gets
you're
into
the-
it.
You're
So
the tour guide.
You're
So-
the one that
so I
it.
brought back some chicken feet. 2 different types. It's spicy.
I really want to know too. Why are they in a package like this?
I don't know.
What's
One
the last
spicy,
I don't know,
one
like-
hot.
Like
I
it's
want
weird
I-
to see meat that isn't like a
It's
beef
like yeah,
jerky.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want the
You can feel it.
spicy.
You want to feel like the bone. Just feel the bone. Like, feel it right in here.
Oh,
Feel that bone. Look. You hear that crack?
you just
Yeah.
like fire it off.
Yeah.
I
And it
want
also
the
got some
spicy.
candy here too. So why don't you try this one?
Okay, so we're easing it.
Yep, we want to ease into it. This is a milk candy. A lot of my
Milk?
students would eat this. you would see them eat it, and then they would like break it off in half and give it to you, and like teacher, and like, or like take it out of their mouth and try to give it to you, and you're like, no.
Oh, so there's no more.
I taught children that were about her age. So like imagine, imagine a bunch of like 25 to 30 little ones like this running around, but they're all Chinese.
It tastes like the inside of a milk dud.
Why did he tap
That's
on
not
my
what I would have
head?
said.
Well,
Milk duds
it's like-
taste good. These things are disgusting. You like this?
it's like the inside
You
of a
would like.
milk
You're gonna
dud.
like the chicken feet. You-
I
You probably
don't
would
know
love the
hot
chicken feet.
I ate some weird stuff.
I mean, you ate gator.
If you
Willingly
don't like
at the
it,
fair.
put a thumbs down.
Hmm?
If you don't like it, put a thumbs down. If
No.
you like it, put a thumbs
Thumbs
up.
up. Thumbs up. Okay, so
Did Leah like that?
what are we milk candy?
Let me
Yeah.
make sure the audio is coming through correctly.
It'd be funny if they didn't
Guys,
hear us
this
the whole
is
time.
gonna be so good.
There's 11 friends here. Hi, friends.
Friends.
Listen,
Hi,
Yeah.
friends. Okay, so that's not that bad. Now let's go for this. Good thing there's English on here.
I never
Tough
tried
crowd
this.
tonight.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, you tried everything, Leah.
No,
Classic coconut candy.
I didn't try this.
Here, maybe you can go grab some from over there.
Check to see if the audio's come through on your end. Like, pull it up on your phone or something.
When is the chat not working? Because wouldn't they tell you in the chat like, oh hey, we can't hear you?
I would assume, yes. But
And if they're respectful people. Which one did you get?
They can hear you.
This.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Here.
Dribble says hello.
So
Hello,
I
Dribble.
want the same one that you.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, you want this one? Here, go.
awesome.
Go find
What
it.
up, Dribble? Hi, Codeman, Jonathan Allen,
What did we
and
do?
Grapewater.
We're not looking at ourselves anymore.
Did you want to look at us? Or did
I
that
have
did it make it easier for you?
Found it.
I usually don't
Found
like to
it.
see myself. Alright. I liked the milk candy.
Okay. Alright. So this is classic coconut candy.
I'm not a big coconut guy, but
I don't know if I tried this one. Oh, I did try this one. I don't think this one tastes like coconut, really.
Looks like caramel.
No. Don't pull that off. Just eat it.
it tastes like coconut.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Like that candy coconut. I like
Like
authentic
a caramel coconut. Yeah.
Like a snowball kind of coconut.
Mm.
That's actually pretty good.
That's actually one of the better ones. I haven't tried that one yet. Okay.
Ugh.
Leah, do you want to hold all the trash for us? Be the trash holder. Okay.
You didn't like that one?
Ugh.
Was that the coconut? That one?
No, that's a white rabbit. We haven't got that one yet.
Is coconut a fruit or a nut?
It's a fruit.
I already tried this.
Here, Leah, sit. This one, I don't know what this one is.
It's good.
I know I didn't like it.
I don't know what this is. That's the other thing you're gonna run into during
It's
this.
got a picture of a cow and a bunch of Chinese characters, but I don't know what they mean. But
Eating the rice
kind
paper
of show
yet?
you. You'll see, like, this is what it looks like. And all their candy has this, like, rice paper film over it. It's what they use to, like, hold it together when they're making it. And so when I first got this candy, any Chinese candy, I was, like, trying to peel it off. I'm like, why isn't it coming off? And then a Chinese girl was like, psh, just eat it. So, that's what I did. What do you think?
Not bad.
It's okay. I like the other one better.
It's very nutty.
What's
Like
that?
mostly nuts and cashews is pretty much all I taste out of that.
What's next?
But there's gonna be a common trend where he won't be able to tell you fully what it is we're eating.
Can I pick
Yeah.
what's next?
Okay, I can tell what these are. These are like little jelly beans. Go ahead.
Give each of one.
He's
Well,
there to
here,
teach
do you
them
want?
English though.
You want one? Here.
I want
Loves
I'm Nick here. You can choose one.
and one of the big ones.
Oh my. Leah, can you sit down?
Sit down,
Yeah,
please.
you gotta sit down or you're gonna go upstairs.
Are these hard candies?
No.
Why are they so small?
There's a big
I don't
Oh,
one.
they're not really all that small. For some
No.
reason it comes out and it looks a lot bigger, but in the wrapper it's like tiny.
That's what she said. But,
Oh, it's kind of like a jelly bean.
yeah. So I had ordered a tub of jelly beans to give to my students when they were being good. And I was like, oh, you know, like jelly beans, you can usually just like, stick your hand in and grab them. No, there was like 300 of them, all individually
What is
wrapped
this?
jelly beans.
Is this a jello
In a giant tub.
With
container.
Mickey Mouse on them.
Yeah, and they all had Mickey Mouse and like different Disney characters on it. It was really strange.
What is this?
But I actually didn't mind it because for portion control, it was great. Because usually I would just like go and just like stuff my face with jelly beans. Because I couldn't. I had to take my time and eat one at a time.
What is
Yeah,
this?
and you don't have to worry about a kid who's 6 sticking their hand in there.
Exactly.
Is this a jelly bean?
You can eat
Daddy,
it.
you?
You can have it. You can have it, Leo.
That's
Okay.
A big ass jelly bean.
Yeah, these jelly beans are, it's like regular jelly beans. It's pretty good. Alright, so now we're going to go to the White Rabbit. White Rabbit is a brand of candy in China that
sit
is...
down.
Hey, you've already had one, okay?
You keep leaning straight over.
White Rabbit is a brand of candy that has, is very, very popular in China. People like it so much, they have, like, pop-up shops of White Rabbit. You can buy White Rabbit gear, like clothing, necklaces, stuff for your phone, all kinds of stuff. There's even like perfume, like a little body spray for it. It's really strange.
Based around a candy.
Yeah. I actually don't mind this at all. It's probably one of my favorite candies. Your first intention is to like peel this off, which you can if you want to. You know, just get like that little first little.
The
bit off,
excess I like to peel off.
Yeah, but
I
then
don't
like
really want, like, a
you'll
bunch
be
of-
here forever trying to peel all of it off. But it's like a milk candy. It's a little hard at first.
A little?
Yeah. Well, once the saliva gets into it, you know, they'll get a little moist in there. You'll feel it like crack. All our candy is like super chewy. But if you guys are wondering, yes, they still do have regular like M&Ms, Hershey's, Snickers are really big. On their imported section, you'll see like Twix and Reese cups.
Definitely imported. I feel like this is gonna rip my teeth out.
For some reason, these are like super hard, harder than normal.
Like now it started to soften up a lot. I was worried it was gonna pull one of my fillings out for a second. It's like, oh.
Love him some nuts. Yeah, Nick does love him some nuts.
And what up, A4B? Sabre, thank you for the nut comment. And hey, Puppet Master.
I need a kiss.
I'm in the mood.
Is it similar to a Tootsie Roll? I get that question a lot. Every person I've ever given this to has asked that.
Well, I asked that when you pulled them out, too.
No. No.
It's kind of like the vanilla Tootsie Roll, but hard. Like, Tootsie Rolls stay soft.
It's like taffy, but not soft taffy, like hard taffy.
It's like a vanilla Tootsie Roll. No, it's not bad.
Which one? One of these?
The ones
I'm
that you just
shocked
said.
it's so popular there that they have, like, stores for it, though.
This is Bunny. This is Bunny. See? See the bunny? It's a rabbit.
I think she wants everything that
She
you guys
does.
are
She
trying.
Alright, so now let's go to...
Let's eat it.
Yeah, eat it.
These are like
And suck
basically...
on it. Don't chew right into it. Just suck on it.
So the
I don't know if you
packaging,
listen
these
to
look
Sue.
like Starburst. The packaging doesn't say Starburst on it.
You don't like it?
I had bought some candy that said Starburst, but then those were not Starburst. They didn't even taste like Starburst, but these look like Starburst and they kind of
Or try that.
taste like a taffy.
Like now and later mixed with a Tootsie Roll.
Wow.
Kind of. More like an hour later. The rabbit.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good one. Now and later's are usually pretty hard.
But the
Yeah.
flavor, but the flavor is
We all
not.
get
The
one.
flavor's a
Flavor's
very
not like it,
vanilla
no.
flavor. Oh god.
The red one's tasty.
Don't pick yellow.
There you go, purple.
Go with green.
I love. He can't tell you what flavors these are either.
They're, yeah, I know. I'll let you taste it. I describe how I think it tastes.
Daddy's gonna taste it first.
What's wrong with Leah?
It doesn't taste like a normal.
Nothing's wrong with Leah.
Ooh, mine doesn't even look like the normal one.
No? What color is that?
White.
White.
It's
It's
white.
not white.
It looks
That's like
white.
a light pink.
Hi, Scotty.
Oh, it's pink, not
That's
blue.
great.
I'm
It
trying
tastes like a
not.
taffy. Kind of like a Laffy Taffy almost.
Yeah.
You have
I
to.
don't know what to feel like a Starburst like consistency.
It's
More like a
hard.
Laffy Taffy consistency.
Taste wise, it's more like a high chew.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, mine's like a green apple.
I mean, that's pretty good though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, texture of the rabbit is of an hour later.
These here are other. This is a lime hard candy. They look sour, almost like a warhead, but they're not.
I like those.
Like these.
Yeah.
These are pretty yummy.
Like they're different, but I like them.
Yeah.
I do like them too.
Do you?
Like, I already tried them.
They're sour?
They look sour,
No.
but they're not.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
Like the first bit
Triple,
is really
I
sour.
agree. That's why I picked the yellow one, and it was not banana.
What up, Scotty Bell? I'm doing pretty good. This tastes like what I would imagine a tanning bed lotion to taste like. It's
I don't want the hot one, please.
It's lemon. I mean, lime.
I'm nervous to eat these. I've already eaten it.
which one do you like?
I had chicken feet before. That's okay.
So you were like, let me get this to
Well,
gross
yeah,
people
because-
out when I come back.
Some people will like them.
Does it reseal?
No.
Or you gotta eat it
No,
all?
these are like with a vacuum sealed, package sealed. No, so like we would, they have these at like a little convenience store on our school campus, and we would, you know, if you really want to make a Chinese person's day, buy them a thing of chicken feet, put it on the desk, and they're like, oh my gosh, like rip into it and start like.
Seriously? I mean,
If I like spicy, because it's a little spicy.
if we're being fair, if I like came into work and I was having a rough day and I went over to the desk and there was some beef jerky just showing there,
Yeah,
I
you're
feel
like,
pretty
I
happy.
happy.
This is
I
like their
had to
beef jerky,
make it
in
lip
a sense.
spots because it's hard
Oh.
to chew for me with the whole thing in my mouth. It's better eating
Alright.
that.
The oolong tea is pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, I think I've had this tea before.
probably have.
Is this a different white rabbit?
This is golden monkey.
Monkey.
Golden monkey.
It reminds me of in Super Troopers
Yeah,
with the monkey. I can't remember what its name
haven't seen that movie in
was.
years.
I'm sorry, but I got another one.
Did you? Softer than the white rabbit.
It is softer than the white rabbit, yes. I think the golden monkey is probably more my favorite of the two. I just want to chewy it first. Similar taste.
Yeah.
It is weird, I think, when you put these candies on your tongue, and you go to taste something, like you would expect to taste something, but you don't because it has that
Red
filling.
paper.
Yeah, that paper over it. So you're like, I'm eating plastic.
I'm scared to eat this. This looks like
Well,
a
I
brain.
mean, rice paper's used a little, like here, but not as much on our confections, obviously, as what it is in China.
Okay.
No.
By the way, he also has no idea what this bag is. All I know was I used Google Lens to try to figure it
It
out.
looks like brains.
And
I grabbed this by accident.
the red stuff is apparently turnip flavor.
Guys, it looks like brains.
It looks like tentacles, maybe squid tentacles is what my
I like squid.
guess is. I like calamari if it's
Ew.
deep fried.
You ate
How do you not know what it is?
squid?
Let me see.
Is that like a...
It definitely doesn't look like chicken.
Maybe if you scan the barcode on the back, I don't know if that would pull it up or not.
Ew, it looks like brains.
You want to feel it? Look here, if you can feel the bone.
Subway or Dairy Queen? Dairy Queen.
Oh, I
Whoa, you feel the
it.
bone? You can feel the bone right here.
Alright.
But like, you know, we eat chicken breasts, we eat chicken thighs,
I'm scared to eat
we eat
it.
the drumsticks.
Are we gonna do that?
I've had chicken feet, not in this type of preparation method.
I mean, like here, this one, you can like really see the like foot. You guys can see that there.
Where is he?
See the foot? It's like,
Ew.
oh, I just broke the foot.
I wonder if people who have a foot fetish like these.
Why'd you
Probably do.
broke the bone of the
Suck the meat
foot?
right off
Alright.
the bone.
I don't know if you want to like, get some napkins or something just in case you're gonna spit this out.
Oh god, that instills confidence right there.
This
I
is
just everyone's got a
definitely
different reaction. When I had it, I was able to eat a little bit, but I didn't eat it out of this packaging. I had it at an actual restaurant.
Guys, this is gonna be gross
But I
and
just know a
good.
lot of my Chinese friends really enjoyed. And this is what you get at like the convenience store, like gas station food, like gas station snacks, basically. And you would see all kinds of interesting packed food like this.
The only thing I've ever had that was like foreign and I absolutely was disgusted by was baloo.
Baloo? Baloo.
It's that duck egg that's partially developed and pickled.
Do you know about the three squeak mouse?
We
The
can
three squeak
spell
mice?
Smith.
What?
So there's parts in China where
Get your feet off the table.
they call it the three squeak mice or three squeak mouse. So you have a baby mouse, newborn mouse, okay? Newborn, fresh, it's like pink and like,
They
okay?
eat the mouse, don't they?
So hold on, let me go through the three squeaks. You get your chopsticks, okay? And you pick it up
Squeak.
with your chopsticks. That's squeak number 1.
Squeak.
You dip it in some soy sauce. That's squeak number 2.
Squeak.
So squeak, squeak.
Is it alive?
Yes.
Squeak. Squeak.
And then you put it in your mouth.
Squeak.
Chew. That's squeak number 3.
Squeak. Squeak.
For those of you
squeak.
that care to watch, I think out there maybe
Don't try it, Leah.
maybe on like Live
Squeak,
Leak or some of those
squeak,
other
squeak.
crazy video plays. I don't think YouTube has it. You can find videos of people like eating it and doing it. It's disgusting. It's disturbing.
I wouldn't want something that moves in my mouth. Like,
I don't like
that's a
anything
no.
anything that's live. I'll eat anything that's deep fried.
It's
Basically,
because you're
Yeah.
American.
They would ask me like, so it's deep fried. Is that okay? I'm like, I'm from America. Yes.
Can we just come on in?
You can
Yeah.
deep fry whatever, and I'll
I'm
probably
so
put it in my
down.
mouth.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm scared.
All right. So, are you nervous?
Yeah. I am.
You're not nervous? All right.
I am.
I'm more
Which one
worried
you
I'm
wanna
going to be
choose?
grossed out.
Not the
Which one you
hot
wanna try?
one. Not the hot one.
Whichever one you recommend. I think these look more
There's this too.
chicken footy.
I don't know what it is. It's not porn.
This is the one that they would. I would see my teachers eat more of.
Okay, then let's go with
So-
that one. If that's the more common one.
Yeah.
Am I opening this?
Yeah. No, that's all you, man.
Oh,
Which
mother of
one's
God.
hot?
Is there like a easy there?
Yeah.
it
There's
is.
a tear. I think on the bottom of these.
It's weird that it's at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, so you should see their bags of chips. I should have brought some bags of chips. Give it a little smell. Give it a little smell. What do you think?
Actually, it didn't smell that
Let
bad.
me get a smell. I never see. I had it at a restaurant. I didn't have it here.
Oh,
Let me have one. Let me smell.
But it's funny. It kind of smells like some barbecue chips.
Let me
You
smell.
wanna try?
I sure don't.
You wanna smell?
Let me smell.
it's got like a rubbery texture to it. I'm good
How
at
do
it.
you eat it?
You just eat. Oh God, here we go.
Let me have one.
Is
Just
it alright?
not-
Is she allowed to try a little bit?
I don't.
You want to be brave? Here, try
It's
to eat some of
spicy,
that-
Leah.
Eat some of daddy's. Do
It's spicy. Like really spicy.
you like spicy food, Nick?
I do. Remember at your
Oh
going away
yeah,
party?
yeah.
Hot.
That
I'm
hurt.
here.
Those were painful.
So Chinese people typically, most of them really love spicy food. I have some
I
friends
don't care. It's going
that
away.
eat so much spicy food,
Oh,
so
it's
much
going
of the
away.
spicy chicken feet that they're having like
Honey.
stomach ulcers because they eat so
Honey.
much of it. There was one time I was out at a dinner with some friends and a coworker. She had some spicy noodles. I tried just one noodle of hers and I couldn't feel my lips. That's how
Why
spicy it
would you
was.
do
The toenails still on.
So if you guys want to get a little up close look here,
that? That's a toenail?
you guys
Yeah.
can see like,
Ew. Why would
So
they
here's,
make
like,
it
the
with a
bone.
toenail?
and then here's like the texture of it here.
Thanks, Mom.
It
It's
doesn't
not
look
hot.
spicy. Typically
It's
you
not
can
hot.
tell when something is spicy.
No, and it doesn't even smell spicy. Like
No.
nothing about the smell tells you
No,
spicy.
but when you put it,
It's
once it
not
touches your tongue,
spicy.
it is
Go
spicy.
away.
And it's a weird spicy. Like even the taste to it shouldn't
Yeah,
be
this
spicy.
smells like this smells like China.
That's
100% like-
weird.
That's.
Like this
It's
smells
the-
like China.
Please don't
Like-
tell
like-
me you're gonna eat the
Like
whole
when I'm walking
thing.
through like malls, like where there's like restaurants, you smell this like fumy smell.
Eat a big bite.
Also, it's very rubbery.
Eat.
Like that's
It's
something
fine.
you kind of notice right
Eat
off
this
the bat.
kind of
Like it's almost like
Yeah.
I'm eating rubber.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't like spicy though. I'll have to go get some
It goes
water.
away.
Give me
The
some water.
spicy goes
Don't
away.
be a little girl.
No, I am. That spicy
You're a
is
scaredy
really.
cat. Don't be a scaredy
Are you calling me
cat.
out, Leah? Here, you do it, and I'll do it.
You wouldn't even eat it.
Here, you eat it, and I'll eat it.
It's
you
hot.
You want to eat it together?
I think I'm more bothered by like the knuckle area. Like I think that grosses me out more
Your
than the
teeth.
toe.
It's hot.
It's very hot.
It goes away now.
But I think it's like
That's spicy. I just licked it.
oh, it's spicier when you
It
put
goes
into
away.
Licking it doesn't do any justice.
Do you enjoy it though? Is it like a enjoyable spice?
It goes away.
It's a really hard to describe spice. It's kind of like it's like turnips. So that makes me almost wonder if that's probably gonna be spicy
Bang.
too.
Stinky.
Yeah, you know,
Ooh,
this is completely different. So this is completely different than what a restaurant.
There's another one of this.
Yeah, that's a toenail. Yeah, this is different than what we would get served at a restaurant.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Restaurant is much more fancier. Oh god.
Is it spicier?
Yeah. You can get different levels of spice. Oh, thank you.
Okay, so it's kind of like a chicken wing. That's like their chicken wing.
Can I have a drink?
But instead of the wing, they're like, let me get the toe.
Is that better?
Make the hot go away.
The hot go away.
I would say the texture is the hardest part to get past on that.
Thank you. So here is like an actual like part of the foot. Like you can see the nail
Wait, is it from
here.
the thigh hole?
You see how it's like kind of like ding ding like woohoo. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. So it's like kind of funny. Do you want to hold it, Valerie? Did you want to? You want to like feel it or anything? If I throw it to you, would you like freak out?
Can I feel
You
it?
want to hold it?
I cleaned
Open
off
your
the
hand.
whole toe.
Ew. Now when you see a chicken, you can be like, I've held its like limb, like a part of its like foot, like its phalange.
She's touched a living chicken before.
See the nail?
Yeah.
That's like your nail.
So where's Anthony?
Get it to stay
Far away from any of this.
If we're really quiet, you can hear him.
I'll cut it.
Anthony would never touch chicken again after this.
He wouldn't touch this.
Ever.
He wouldn't
I'm gonna
touch
save
it.
one of these packages for this weekend.
Yeah, no, you're
I'm gonna
fine.
save that one for some fun this weekend.
I don't think we can finish that
I'm
package
not.
if we
Yeah,
wanted to.
yeah, I'm not. No.
Why not?
This is one of those things where it's like the texture is really hard to get past. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm chewing on rubber.
Yeah. The taste isn't
Do you
terrible.
cook it?
I'm sure it's
It is
cooked,
cooked, but there's different ways you cook it.
unless it's naturally salted and they use that to cook it, like how they do.
Well, yeah, I mean they'll like put it on a grill.
What?
I don't know if I would. Like if I found this laying on my desk, I'd be like, "Who the fuck is this?"
All right, now
Oh, mother of
dive
God.
into
That
this.
looks like
This
a
is our
grape.
last one.
So can you like save it, or does it like have to be like eaten like the
I
second?
don't
you
know. I've never.
Brian.
You can probably
I've
save
never
it.
not seen it saved.
Brian.
Usually they devour this.
Brian,
Ugh.
it looks
5
like
minutes.
a
They're
grape.
just like.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I do
Wild
that with a bag
hyenas.
of jerky. So why don't you take
Right.
jerky?
Yeah,
back
so
to
like
them?
they have a lot of similarities as we do. It's just different items, different
Yeah.
products, different.
You
it's
should
different.
take
Right.
beef jerky back to them.
Oh, I should. I don't know
I'm
if I
pretty
can.
sure this is just a turnip.
Is that hot?
This is some kind of vegetable.
Is that hot?
That looks like a worm.
Is it hot?
Does it smell? You want to smell this?
No.
No, this doesn't smell bad.
I
It just doesn't. I think you would know.
Is it hot, Daddy?
So.
What's the smell like?
Ooh,
Ooh,
it smells like poop.
Oh, I've already eaten.
but
Try it. It's not bad.
what do you? What does it smell like? What is it?
Is it hot?
What's
Try?
it smell like? Smell it.
We're gonna be back to that rubbery texture again.
Yeah.
What
Is that a
this?
common texture?
You know what this
there?
feels like? It feels like one of those rubbery plastic
Hot.
plastic worms that you use when you're fishing, like bait, like fake bait.
We're eating fake bait.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like texture wise.
That's what it looks like.
Leah, did you get some on your foot?
I would probably say, like, if we're going by taste, it kind of tastes like a chicken wing.
This does not taste very good, and it's really spicy.
It's hot. It's hot.
It's a lot spicier than chicken feet.
Go
I don't do
get
very
one and
good.
get
I don't
some.
do very good.
With spicy.
Yeah. Do you want to try it? Do you want some water? Leah? What do the
This is
people
much
say?
spicier than the chicken feet, though.
You don't like the mouse thing? Yeah, that's pretty bad. His reaction is priceless. Leave it to Nick. He will eat anything. That's why.
Brian was
Like this.
living in China.
Oh dear. My
This
foot.
is more hotter. It's stinky.
You know, in China, they love to eat dog. They don't love to eat dog, but like the older
You can
generation
find
will
it.
eat dog. Younger generation's kind of phasing out of it. Us Americans, like dogs like our man's best friend. We would question them and have conversations like, why? Why do you eat dog? And they would say, oh, there's so many health benefits. Makes you run faster. Makes you stronger. There's all kinds of health benefits that they would say. That's probably not true. They just market it up so they can sell
Stop.
it for really expensive. They think it's weird that we eat deer.
Ew.
We're like, but that's what you hunt with. That's what people, you bag a deer and then that'll feed you for like a whole, for a while.
You bag a dog and that'll feed you for an afternoon.
But also, is there a population overran by dogs, kind of like ours is ran by cats?
I mean, not necessarily. Like you would see like the stray dog here and there, but like you kind of see that not as much as like you'd see it anywhere else. Yeah.
Do you ever have that moment where you're like, man, I'd really like to know what I just ate?
It's hot.
You said it's like a turnip. That is not a turnip.
It's turnip. That's the flavoring.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
I don't know what
believe
turnip tastes like, so I wouldn't know.
Mommy,
Ah,
Turnips aren't spicy like that.
mommy.
concerned lower class, and
This
it's
is
mainly eaten
spicy.
because the warm, cold
Super spicy.
chai. I don't know what chai is. I know that chai is a type of tea.
I was gonna consider lower class. Not necessarily, no. I mean, maybe in some parts of China or other Asian countries, but
Do you want a Ziploc bag for this?
I'm not gonna. No,
He's straight looking at you like, I will never eat
no,
this.
this can go in your trash. Thanks for trying it, Leah. You're
We're
brave.
not gonna do a full shot.
Ah.
Because I don't think I can stomach a full shot of
Yeah, I
it.
still gotta drive, dude. This stuff messes you up, man.
There's no way it's that strong. It's 56%.
It's high.
That's not that high.
Yes, it is. You know what's not that high? A Bud Light.
Okay, we're comparing beer and liquor.
I'm not
This
gonna
is like,
taste
you know, like a
that.
bourbon whiskey level.
I
Okay,
can't
there's
taste
different
that.
levels. 56 is still low for a liquor.
I can't try that.
Why don't you just
It's all
Why is he
level.
down there?
Sorry.
I
I mean, if
can't
you don't
try
want to, you
that.
don't have to.
Look at this brave. Ooh.
God, that smells
Yeah,
really
Baiju
bad.
is
Where's my
3 shots of this, and your 3 actual shots, full
That's not
shots
for
of this,
Leah.
and
It's not for you.
your tongue
I
is
want to smell it.
going pretty numb, and then all alcohol starts tasting really good.
I mean, the smell is terrible. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, terrible.
I've had some heavy drinkers smell this since I've been back, and they're like, "Whoo!" You know, it makes them turn their eye a little bit.
Let me see.
When you had it, what was your reaction?
Well, the first time I had it, they said it was a wine, so I'm like, okay. So I like, kind of just like sipped it. This isn't something you want to sip.
You want a shot.
Yeah.
I know.
But they sip it. They all sip it. It was like in a wine glass. It wasn't wine, no. But the way the
fancy.
characters are, I don't know. I think it's
Oh,
on
Lord.
here. The way the characters are on here, I don't remember which character it is, but there's a character on here. It's in every alcoholic name, drink, beverage. It's when you translate just that character as wine. So they're taught to just call basically every alcoholic thing wine. But it's not wine. It's beer, or it's whiskey, or it's liquor. But to them, they just call it wine because that's just. So you have like Baiju, and then you'll have like Taiju, or there's just all kinds of things like that.
Well, here we go.
Oh, hold on.
You ready?
I forgot
3,
everything.
2,
So, you know what
1.
so this is what they say, Gumpe, and then you gotta do this. Oh, and they also do this other weird thing. So you'll go like this, and then like, come on, you gotta like whoever gets lower. So to like try to get lower at the lowest. That means it's like, yeah, dude, it's the weirdest thing. You're going like this, and you'll go to like cheers, and then they're like do this like game.
They like make a
Yeah.
game out of who can go lower.
Yeah, who the
than-
lowest, because that's like a sign of respect.
Huh.
It's the strangest thing. Anyway.
3, 2, 1, drink. How was it? Hot? Is it hot? Is it
No,
hot?
but it makes the spice on my tongue much worse than where it was.
Is it hotter?
Oh.
Guys, what flower do you like? Comment down below.
Yes, please comment down below on the flower.
Oh. All right.
Priceless.
If you ever go to China,
Do not drink.
Drink the Baiju.
oh no, don't.
So like at first, the first initial like when you open up the hatch, you put it down.
Spicy.
Basically, like right now, like the back of my tonsils are like numb, and like the back parts of my throat are kind of like numb and tingly.
So let's be fair though. Brian also doesn't drink much, like at all.
Yeah, I don't drink
Not
at all.
even.
Neither do you.
But when I do
He used
drink,
to.
I drink liquor.
Yeah.
When he
But
drinks,
when I drink liquor. I'll drink whiskey. It's strong. I mean, it definitely.
What? Yeah. When did you become a whiskey fan?
Someone said sunflower. Leah.
Oh.
Aw,
Yeah.
they like
Guys,
the
this
sunflower.
is hot.
They like the
Triple
sunflower.
said sunflower.
Go with the sunflower.
Oh my god, my
Sunflower?
stomach is on fire.
So the Baiju, like now it's gone. Like it's not that bad, but that first initial like for a good 20-30 seconds, you're really feeling the burn back there.
Wait, show them
Um,
the sunset.
It's stronger than like a whiskey, drinking whiskey straight.
I wouldn't say that it's stronger. Like liquor, like
Well, I
alcohol.
mean, it's just the taste of it.
It is the taste.
It's the taste.
It is one of those things like this is not what you go into expecting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I would, if I were to compare it to anything, I'd probably say like the kick
Show them?
feels like you're taking Everclear, but it's not an Everclear. It is literally just the way that the taste is of it that is so. Ugh.
You
Am I beautiful? Am I cute now?
Oh no, it's the wrong way.
What's the wrong way?
This is popular there.
I wanna
Oh
wear
yeah.
it.
Oh
I
yeah.
wanna wear
You
it.
wanna wear it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's really popular. They serve it at every establishment. There's different alcohol volumes.
What's their big beer there?
I don't know the name of it. I mean, as far as like imported, it's Budweiser. They love Budweiser.
Of course they do.
They have a lot of craft beer. There's a lot of Swedish beer, which is really good. I've had some really good ciders from Sweden that I really enjoyed.
Ciders
down
are
below
awesome,
which
yeah.
one
but
do
they're
you like.
problematic because they taste so good, and you're gonna get a lot drunker
Yeah.
than you expect.
Comment down below which one do you
They
like.
said they like the sunflower.
Yeah.
Here, come back here.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I think I'm more startled that this is like their jerky. Like it's not terrible,
Sheep and pig.
and I think it's a texture thing.
It
Like
is.
I can't get past the texture.
Yeah, if you guys want to know what these feel like, just go to.
Every day.
What am I doing?
Just taking a picture
Um,
of it.
Just go to like a fishing supply store and grab like one of like rubber worms, stuff you would use for like fake bait. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
100%.
but we're eating it,
Mhm.
and apparently it's.
And it does taste like chicken.
Chicken
There is a
feet.
chicken taste to it.
It does
a little
taste
meat to
like
it, yeah.
chicken feet. Tastes like chicken
There's
feet.
very little meat though, which I think is the more upsetting part because like I cleaned off the bone that I ate.
Yeah.
And there's more bone than there is meat.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I guess to be fair, like in America, if you have a type of jerky, like I'll eat elk jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Moose is the only one I wouldn't eat.
What's that?
I love mooses. They're like one of my favorite creatures.
Mooses.
But like you can get elk jerky, you can get deer jerky, you got all different kinds of jerky. And man, Brian, you look beautiful there. So I mean, I guess do they have different types of chicken feet? Like, can you get different flavors?
There's different flavors. I don't know exactly what they are because all the bags are in Chinese, but there's several different kinds. These two are different. They're gonna have the same texture, but the taste
Is
will
it
be
like
different.
Japan where there's vending machines everywhere too?
Yeah, in the bigger cities there are some vending machines. Yeah, not exactly like you would see in Japan, but you'll see vending machines with.
I mean, they have
with
massive
things,
ones in
yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
You can get used panties in Japan in a vending machine if you
Guys,
wanted.
comment down below. Who do you think looks pretty, him or me?
You're brave eating chicken feet. I only use them for making stock. Homer, I'll try everything at least once. Would I go out of my way to eat this again? No. Your Wally Mart.
Does
I hope
that
you enjoyed your
look
first shift, Dylan. Just sit down. man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's basically it. I mean, they got they have all kinds of interesting little gadgets. There's stuff like this. So you'll stick it down and suction. You can put your phone on it. Just kind of neat.
Or your
And the
tablet.
haggling.
Or
Yeah.
your tablet if you don't have a kid.
We were actually talking before this too about the Mulan individual, the girl who's playing Mulan, and everyone wants to boycott her because she had said that she supports Chinese police, and he kind of stated what I was thinking, that you don't really have a choice. If your family's still there, you're gonna have to play ball.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It is interesting seeing what it's like, living in an oppressed environment and seeing it firsthand. And I mean, they love white skin. Like, the women walk around wearing sunbrellas. They'll have a sunbrella. It's an umbrella. They just wear it when it's sunny out
Valerie
You
needs
have
one.
that one.
because they don't want to get tan.
Yes.
They don't want the sun. They want to be as white as possible. So,
No, no,
why-
China? You'd be
Why-
their ideal.
White is beautiful to them. I don't like the whole idea of like the whole like white privilege aspect, but out there like Chinese people are really racist, hardcore. Like seeing it. I have some friends that are from different parts of Africa. They say it's really hard to get jobs. You will see job postings that say, if you're black or yellow, don't bother applying because the parents don't want, you to teach their kids.
It's kind of crazy.
And you're seeing that more with like the late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70-year-olds. And I think, in the next 2-3 generations, that'll be gone. From a social stand, from like the social issues out there, they're like 50 years behind, it feels like. Like 20 to 50 years behind the rest of the world, at least the Western countries.
Well,
But,
I
they
think
didn't
a lot
have
of
their.
that has to do with the oppression.
Yeah.
We were also talking about how the internet.
Yep, they have the Great Firewall of China. So you have the Great Wall of
Wait,
China.
that's a real thing.
They call it the Great Wall of China, with the giant wall north of Beijing. And then they have the Great Firewall of China. So basically, there's like the top. There's like 100 and something sites that are blocked that you don't have access to unless you have a VPN. And the past year, relying on a VPN sucks to like get on Facebook, any social media, Google,
What was the name of their version of Google?
Baidu.
It's a fun name.
Yeah, Baidu is their search engine. Yeah,
Let
Baidu
me
Maps.
Baidu it real quick.
Yeah, no, they just say let me search. I don't know what they say in Chinese, but yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I'm going back there another year. I go back on Tuesday, but I'm going to be in a bigger city where I was previously. Oh, I miss you too. Last time I saw you, you barely talked. Now you won't stop talking. Where I was previously, this last year, was in like a small countryside, poor rundown countryside of China. The internet was really bad. I don't have a car, so transportation was really rough. You have to rely on their version of Uber, which isn't very expensive, but it's just time consuming. It takes like an hour or 2 hours to get to the closest train station or airport. The closest Starbucks was a 35-minute drive away. So go anywhere with fun. It was, it was an adventure.
Is Starbucks' menu pretty much the same over there?
Yeah.
So like, I assume you at
Starbucks
least
is pretty
went to
similar.
a McDonald's or something over there. Is it still the same stuff, or is there like a whole new menu?
It's very similar things, plus things that we don't have. I don't even know how to describe it. They have like these like weird little egg pie things.
Egg.
Yeah.
Did you
It's so
know
strange.
in Hawaii, McDonald's serves Spam and eggs? for
Spam and
breakfast?
eggs.
Because Spam is so popular in Hawaii.
That's another thing too. Is people in Hawaii, living in Hawaii is vastly different than even living here. There's a lot of differences.
Well, it's also an Asian culture as well.
No, I met a Hawaiian.
Polynesian?
Yeah, I met a Polynesian couple out there. Oh, they were really nice. But it took a little bit of getting used to. Nothing that was like really super crazy. That was like, oh my god, I can't believe this happens here in this country. You don't see people getting tortured.
Outside of the oppression.
Yeah, you see like the poor parts, but when you see, say you're like walking downtown, and you see like homeless people. You see homeless people too in China. But like you do see. Like,
Yeah, but I mean,
I would
like,
see like the Chinese teachers. So like the Chinese teachers get treated like garbage compared to the foreign teachers. We get paid like 4 times what they get paid on a monthly salary, and they just get overworked, underpaid severely.
You have a whole bunch of questions waiting.
Would you rather eat chicken? You don't want to. Would you rather chicken feet or chitterling? I don't know what that is. Neither. I work at that. If you're an American black person, do you think?
Shitterlings?
Yeah,
That's
negative.
chicken testicles.
Nah, neither. If you are an American black person, do you think they look at them as black and negative or American and okay? When I was in China and I saw someone who was black, I had that tendency to automatically assume that they're from America when 99% of them weren't. They were from Cameroon, Ghana. A lot of the people from where I worked at had partnerships with schools in Cameroon. So a lot of Cameroonians. not necessarily Americans, but they look at them. I'm not necessarily as like inferior, but you gotta understand in China, if you had darker skin back in the day, that meant you were poor because you were always outside working in the fields. So that's why they don't want to have dark skin. So when they see someone who's black, they treat them with respect. If you're black and you know Chinese, then that puts you ahead of the game. If you're fluent in Chinese, you're going to do really well. So just wondering, do you speak Mandarin Chinese? Very, very, very little. I think those would kill me. I have such a hard time distinguishing. Yeah, it is very hard. There's 4 tones, but what's even more challenging about the language is like each little village, even certain parts of Shanghai, they have their own dialect. So it's not like accent. How like people down south in Tennessee have like a little twang, or people in Boston, have a little Boston accent. This is to the extent where someone who's native Chinese speaker speaks Mandarin very fluently, but when they go to Hong Kong, they have no idea what they're saying because they're speaking Cantonese. Or if they go to like the school where I was from, in like the Dongyang area, they call it Dongyonghua or something, but that's their local dialect. I have no idea what they're saying.
See, I think the thing that would be hard, like as an American and going there, is you literally see, as he was talking about, people are protesting in the streets right now in China, but
Hong
those
Kong.
people are
Not
literally
China, Hong Kong. It's different.
in Hong Kong, but the government will literally make it out like these people are terrorists, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're just talking about wanting freedoms, like you were talking about. They want the Second Amendment and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I think it was in 1997. I think it was under UK rule. Hong Kong was. They gave it back to to the Chinese mainland government under the one condition that they would have 50 years of like minimal intervention in everyday life. So China was still allowed to have their police presence, a little bit of police presence, a little bit of military presence, and they had a bigger say in appointing officials. It wasn't like a democratic system or anything they were used to having. But that's 50 years. So I think it's 2037 is when, or 2047 when that's coming up. But the Hong Kong people, they don't want to wait. They're like, we don't need to wait till then. We want to start fighting for our freedoms now because they're already implementing so much control. The reason all these protests are happening is because 2 or 3 months ago, China was trying to pass a bill in Hong Kong as an extradition bill. I don't know if you heard about this. But basically, if you were in Hong Kong and you're a Hong Kong citizen, basically you're a Chinese citizen, but you're just born in Hong Kong, if you break a law that is illegal in China, you can be extradited to China. It's not illegal in Hong Kong, but it's illegal in China. You can be extradited there. And they did not like that. They were like, that is going to be a huge step in the wrong direction for them. They have a one country, 2 system policy is how it was brought out to them. Like, if you ask Chinese people, they say Hong Kong is part of China. They just have 2 different systems. If you ask people in Hong Kong, they're like, yeah, but we're kind of our own. We have our own currency. We have our own military. We have to an extent our own government.
Well, so that's kind of interesting.
Our own passports.
I don't know if you remember in Batman, The Dark Knight, because they even reference it, but it's actually true. If you're a Chinese citizen and you commit a crime in another country, but you wind up back in China, China won't extradite one of their citizens to be prosecuted elsewhere. So it's interesting to see them do that with Hong Kong.
Yeah, well, they're trying to, but the Hong Kong Parliament, I think it's Parliament, they said that they're just suspending the bill for now. And the Hong Kong citizens are like, no, we want it to be completely gone. Not suspended, we never want to see anything like this again. So over the next, 2 decades, you're going to see this escalate. It's going to get way worse. You may even have another Tiananmen Square incident where, they're having tanks in the streets and running over citizens, and it was really, really brutal and violent. I don't think it'll get to that level because in today's age, everyone back then in 1989, they didn't have Facebook. Not everybody had a cell phone. Their cell phones weren't what they are today. Yeah. So everything's filmed.
But you also run into the downside where they have so much control over the internet, the government.
Not in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, they don't have the Great Firewall. You don't need a VPN when you're in Hong Kong. It's free, open internet.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's like Hong Kong. They had their own sovereign.
I thought Hong Kong literally was a part of China.
It's part of. It's like on the continent.
Yeah.
Asia continent, but it's separate.
Okay.
If Hong Kong dollar is their currency, they have their own military. They have their own border. Like, if you are on a if you're on a tourist visa in China, I think it's like 30 days or 60 days. Then you have to leave the country for at least 24 hours, and then you can go back. A lot of people will just go to Hong Kong and then come back.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they'll just go to Hong Kong for a day, then come back to China.
Because I always thought Hong Kong was a part
Until you
of
ask, but it's not.
Okay.
Like, people believe, just like with Taiwan.
So if I asked someone who was part of mainland China,
You would. So that's what they. So you'll hear when people are getting really specific, having serious conversations. You'll hear them. They don't say China. They say mainland China, and Hong Kong and Taiwan. That's how they distinguish the three: mainland China.
Because I know when they started originally talking about building Disney in Hong Kong, that was actually a big no-no because they had the first one was built in mainland China, and they got really upset because China wasn't doing well financially at the time. They were in a recession, and they're like, no, you can't do that. You're literally going to kill our tourist economy by building one in Hong Kong and driving everyone back away from.
Yeah, but now there's Disney in Hong Kong and in Shanghai, and they're both pretty big, very busy. I haven't been, but I've had some friends that went to the one in Shanghai. At
Have
least.
you gone to the Bruce Lee Museum? You
No,
should. That's one you
No.
really should do.
no, I would love to. Maybe the second year around, I'll have a lot more.
Because
free
that was his house that was there.
Yeah, no, yeah. I had some Chinese friends would talk to me about it when they were talking about things we should visit in China, and that was on the list.
Yeah, I mean, because that man was loved among both countries.
He was loved all over the world.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest martial artists to ever live.
Yeah, he's a wise man. Any other questions? I think Cantonese sounds better. It's definitely different. Like ni hao is Mandarin Chinese, and it's like ni ho is Cantonese. So it's like those weird little subtle differences.
I know they have so many different symbols too for the written language.
Characters, not symbols. Characters.
Same thing.
That's interesting about skin color. Yeah. It's like what Puerto Rico is in the United States, kind of. Kind of, but
Puerto Rico.
yeah. As where I lived, there was only 11 foreign teachers, and we were all in the school. We were all pretty close. And not all of us were white. There were some people from India, a couple from Africa, a couple from Colombia. So we were a little diverse, and there was a few of us from America. So anytime we would travel together, like we would go like 2 or 3 months with not seeing any other foreigner except in our close little knit circle. So when we would go to Shanghai or these other big cities, like, oh my gosh, look, a white person. You would just like kind of stare at them like you see a deer on the side of the road. It was like, because you go like 2 or 3, you don't realize it, and it's like, it's like they stand out, and you're like, oh my gosh, you try not to stare. It's a weird, very weird thing at first. Then after like the second or third time, you're like, okay, you're used to it. But going like 2 or 3 months without seeing someone, like another foreigner, it was at one point where I would see like someone say like from India, and I'd be like, we would kind of lock eyes, and like in our minds we could tell we're like, oh, like look, that's another foreigner, that's an ally, because it's like all foreigners against Chinese people. It's kind of like the feeling you would get.
Were there ever times where you'd go to like a fast food restaurant or something just to feel like less homesick?
Yeah, like when I was like having a hard time finding some clothes, when I first saw the H&M, I was like, oh, okay, I know that brand, so I went there. Taco Bell in China was really nice, way better than Taco Bell here.
Moving to China.
Yeah, everything is fresh. They have the fresh vegetables all up. Yeah, you see them grab the tomatoes, chop it up. Their soft tacos are like this, like pita. Is it pita bread? Pita bread.
It's not a pita bread, because then it would be Italian. It wouldn't be the pita bread's thick.
It's thick. It's thick and it's weird.
So maybe you're thinking of
No,
a
it's
sofa
thick. Maybe, I don't know. My first reaction was like a pita bread, but it's like a thick bread. And they pull it up. But yeah, Taco Bell was pretty tasty. When I came back here, I Taco Bell like the second or third day. And
You know they have
me
a
being
Taco
back,
Bell
and I felt
hotel
sick.
now, right?
Yeah, I saw that. It's pretty
You
crazy.
didn't even have a wedding package.
That's strange.
I know, me and Valerie talked about renewing our vows that way.
But yeah, when you would see Western restaurants that you've never heard of before, because they're just like a foreigner would partner with a Chinese citizen, someone they're close with, and start a restaurant, and they would sell burgers and fries and fried food and all. and all that, and it was pretty tasty. There's some really good food. You know, I did go to a nightclub to see what these Asian nightclubs are like.
Oh,
I was very disappointed in the one that I went to. Like, I was just walking. It was my first time in Shanghai by myself, and I was like late at night. I had just got like McDonald's or something, and I was walking back to my hotel, and I hear this like music bumping like really loud, and I see these like people like pretty much. I'm on this side of the road, it's over here, and you see the lights, and it's like, okay, see what this is like. I go up there, and I tried to do the whole like, oh, I'm on my phone, so like the guards like trying to like not talk to me, or because they were like asking people something in Chinese. I'm like, I don't have anything to show them, and so they stop me, and then they speak in English. I go, hey, do you have they're like, do you have like an invitation? And I'm like, no, I don't. I just wanted to go check it out. They're like, oh, okay, but then they were stopping people and turning them away. So I don't know if they just let me in because I was a foreigner. They were just turning Chinese people away that didn't have an invitation. So that was a little interesting.
Or maybe they were monitoring the guy-to-girl ratio.
That or the foreign ratio, like, you know.
Because China also has
way more guys than girls.
Well, and they have limits too, because they'll go through periods where you can't have a baby boy.
Don't lie to me.
Not really, not anymore. They used to have the one-child policy, but they're not. They don't really do that anymore. Yeah, currently, no. That was a big thing. A lot of the girls my age, and guys my age, are only children. They're an only child.
Huh. I'm an only child.
Yeah. When I went into the club, everyone was just standing around on their phones. Music bumping, blaring. There was some drinking. There was like a couple people dancing, but it was like weird. It was like that awkward high school party. Or like high school
it sounds like
dance.
my kind of party.
Or like the eighth grade middle school, dance, and you're just like standing there. It was like music bumping, DJs going way too hard. Yeah, you get this like this Chinese DJ, crazy, and like the glasses, and it's pretty nuts. And then there was another one I went to, not in a big city though. This was a smaller city. That was a little bit more impressive. It was much bigger. People were kind of standing up on like these things.
Do they have like karaoke sections in there?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest form of entertainment that the Chinese like to do is KTV. It's like karaoke television. So you'll be in a room about half the size of this living room, giant TV, and then there's like a jukebox thing, and then you can just go choose a song and you sing karaoke. You can get food and drinks served to you, like little snacks and fruits. They had English songs on there, but like.
Is K-pop big there?
Kind of, yeah.
Because I know it's pretty big here now.
Yeah, they love their Korean boy bands.
Like BTS.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to school?
Yeah, right? That's every time I hear that name, I'm just like, it's a bad name. Why would you call yourself that?
No. But yeah, no, they do like their they do like their Koreans. Just funny.
Gangnam Style.
Pretty much. Well, a lot of people don't know too about how in Nanjing, which they back when it happened, they called it Nanking. You know about the Nanking massacre. So Japanese, I think it was World War One. Yeah, Japan attacked China. It was a massacre. I mean, the amount of
actually, I do know about that. I heard Japan whooped China's backside.
It was really, really, really bad. They raped like tens and 20,000 women, just brutally murdered everybody in the city. It was whenever you if you guys look into it, just look into it.
Keep in mind too, Japan's like this big and China's like this big.
Because Nanjing used to be the capital of China, and then shortly after that incident, they moved it to Beijing. But if you just look at like the Nanjing massacre, you will just be completely shocked and all. Like, you don't hear about that often. China, they kind of like shy away from it because that wasn't a good time for them. Some of the like 40, 50-year-old Chinese men and women that I would run into and talk with, some like parents and other coworkers, they would say they don't like to go to Nanjing because growing up it wasn't a good time for them. People my age, it's a beautiful city. It's a prosperous city now. It's beautiful. A lot of culture there.
Well, I mean, the crazy part, though, is, like, when you truly think about it, if you ever heard Japan attack China, you would instantly just assume to yourself, oh, Japan got their backsides handed to them, because as Americans, you always hear, oh, who would ever stand a chance in a war against us, and you always hear China in that sentence, because, it's like 3 of them to every one of us, but Japan attacked them, and apparently brutalized them. And I mean, we're talking like Japan is the size of like one of their cities there.
No.
It's a little bigger than that, but like
That's a lot
Japan's
bigger
like the
than
size of like Texas.
It's a little bigger in Texas because it's got the islands. Like,
Yeah,
stretch
but
it out.
it's
But
still-
yeah, no, it's yeah. But yeah, I mean, living in China is really nice. The job itself, I really enjoyed it. Teaching the kids. Anyone can teach in China as long as you have a bachelor's degree in anything.
anything.
Like a bachelor's degree, and then if you get like a TEFL certificate, teaching English as a foreign language certificate, it's really easy. It takes like a day or two online to complete. You can teach English. It's a really great way to travel the world, make money, and have a good impact on kids. I had a little thought a while back. I was like, what if, China thinks long term, 10-year, 20, 30, 40, 50-year plan. What if they're like, okay, next 100 years, like we're going to try to take over the world, we're going to crush the United States. A plan right now, in order for us to do that, our citizens have to be at that time our citizens have to be like fluent in English, like it doesn't have to come second nature to them, so they're using us to teach them English. We're using the enemy.
So
That's like 4D chess. Like we're using our future enemy to
If we're being
take them
fair
down.
though, if anyone did have a long-term plan of taking down the U.S., it would probably be China.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of crazy things. Every day was an adventure. It was really cool. I would order something online at like 6 p.m. or 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it would show up by like noon the next day.
Yeah.
It was like 13-hour shipping. So that was pretty cool.
They
Not
get
all
it
the
straight
products,
from
but
the
sometimes,
sweatshop.
yeah.
Straight from the sweatshop to your front doorstep there.
Hi, Nick and Nick friend.
Hi, Melanie.
The first fast food restaurant I tried in China was Burger King. Do they have squirrels in China? I didn't see any. Maybe they might.
You didn't see a single squirrel?
Mm-mm. How do you get the opportunity to teach? Yeah, I already answered that. I mean, you just search it. Yeah, after you complete your TEFL certificate, they will help you find a job. And if you know people, like if any of you guys are ever interested in teaching, you can get a hold of him, and then I can talk to you, and then I know people, all kinds of recruiters, agencies, that'll help you find jobs.
Yeah, and I mean, I know
get
you've
started.
been really enjoying it.
Yeah, it is really enjoyable. I mean, it's easy work. The pay's pretty well.
I think your benefit, though, to like how you say you weren't ever really like shocked, is in America we're such a cultural melting pot. Like you've at least seen
Yeah.
some parts of all of these different cultures. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, to some degree, you're seeing a part of that culture. And I get it. Like there are some cultures that are drastically different than ours, and the ones that would probably give you culture shock are going to be typically the countries you just don't hear a lot about. Like if I went over to Iraq, that would probably be where I would get my culture shock.
It is crazy to hear the stories. Like some older adults would tell you about like a friend of a friend or someone they knew who was like a North Korean defect. They would escape out of North Korea. Some of these like women or even guys would try to escape because the China borders north border North Korea, so they would try to escape.
Well, and even the Chinese think North Korea is batshit crazy.
Yeah, so they sneak through that border, and some of them will go through like sex trafficking. They think they're getting safe, then they get stuck into like a section. Then it's even worse.
That's awesome.
Kind of, but it's actually probably about the same as what they're experiencing.
You know that we're one of the worst countries with sex trafficking? That's
Super Bowl.
crazy.
The Super Bowl is one of the biggest areas where transferring people take place.
Where is?
Super Bowl.
Like,
The Super,
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
like the football Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Big events like that, like how do you monitor that,
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's nuts.
Yeah, if you guys ever do visit China, don't try to smuggle in drugs. There is a Brazilian citizen who just got sentenced to death for bringing, for some reason he flew into freaking Beijing with 50 pounds of cocaine.
A lot of cocaine.
Yeah. And like Beijing is where the government is, and everything there is like times 10 as far as like security.
Have you seen what's going on with the Brazilian wildfires?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's been going on for a few weeks.
Yeah, but they're saying that the
Um,
rainforest might not ever be recoverable at
Yeah.
this point. Which is crazy, because then the Brazilian Prime Minister also made some remarks that he felt that these were intentionally started due to funding being cut, but then he backpedaled on that, saying he never accused anyone.
I think it's important to not necessarily do the whole blame game at this point in time, but rather focus more on solutions.
Yeah,
Stop it.
yeah.
I'm just writing, but anyway. Anyone have any questions before we end?
Just raise your hand.
Yeah.
There's the delay.
You guys can follow me on Instagram, and then you can see my like China posts. I'll post on my Instagram and Facebook story. I didn't post as much as I should, but I'm gonna post a lot more.
He
this
was
year.
also at one point going to start a YouTube while it was out there.
The internet is so bad, and then you have to also rely on a VPN, and that makes it even worse. So when you have really really bad internet, bad latency, just bad everything, upload download speed. Like your upload speed's way faster than your download speed at some points, which is odd. And
Your upload speed's better than
Yeah.
your download?
yeah, so like your download speed would be like 0.5, but your upload speed would be at 3.
You'd be able to do YouTube. Upload's all you need.
Still, like it's
Three's
not all
not
the
bad.
time. Not all the time.
I mean,
Like,
granted,
you
I
can
have
see that.
50.
50, yeah.
But
But it's really strange. But then when you tack on a VPN to that, it takes it from 0.5 to 0.1.
mine's 50 and 500.
I can't think of anything right now. Thank you for the stream. You're welcome. Yeah, my Instagram is what is my Instagram? Oh, here.
What is my Instagram? I'll tell you a quick little fun story. He messaged me the other day. Keep in mind, this is the second time we've gotten to hang out since he's been back. And he messages me and he goes, I want you to try chicken feet. And that was the first message. And then live was the next message. I was like, you want me to try live chicken feet? Like, I was very bothered by how I
eat a
read
chicken,
it.
Yeah, live. No. No, like live stream it. No, just my Haste18, HAIST18. Haste18 is my Instagram. But if you go there, you'll see some of the posts that I have.
Is baseball really popular out there? I've heard that
Japan mainly. They really love soccer, football.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love soccer.
Almost everywhere but the U.S. does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Soccer's big pretty much everywhere but here.
Yeah, is it hard to eat American Chinese? So I actually, it was 2 days ago, I had Panda Express, and it tasted really good, but it's not Chinese food. I mean, it's not.
It's
The first time I had rice, because I went to BD's Mongolian barbecue, which I love that place, but their rice was terrible
So, and the thing to keep in mind
compared to like the Mongolian
is
rice.
a lot of people always like to say American Chinese food, and like with Panda Express, it is actually owned by Chinese immigrants.
Yeah.
So it's not really American Chinese food; it's just Chinese-inspired American food. And I mean, orange chicken's really good, and it is similar to certain dishes that are in China.
Yeah. I had some food. I would go to some buffets that had some stuff that tasted like orange chicken. You don't really. So do you know how you can tell if it's Chinese food? Is if you question everything that's being served to you. That's when you know it's Chinese.
So the seediest Chinese buffets you go
Yeah.
to, those are authentic.
Yeah, yeah. When you're like, what is this? I don't know what this is.
I like
You
the
know-
Chinese
you know it's
buffets when they're
authentic
like
Chinese food.
Chinese donut. I'm just like, what's the heck is a Chinese donut?
Yeah, yeah.
It's either a donut or it's not a donut.
Basketball. They love basketball. They love NBA in China. Some of the people that would know like broken English are like, "Oh, you American?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "NBA, LeBron James."
Which is weird because you were talking about how they're kind of like racially, but love NBA.
Yeah, they love NBA. Love. I think Yao Ming had a lot to do with that.
No, I think it was pretty big before he got out. Before he
But
got
I just
out.
like even because they would always like, "Yeah, I'm Yao Ming." So,
I mean, that dude was a monster size wise.
any other questions? You guys can always message me too if you want. Kobe, yeah.
I do love Kobe.
You guys can always message me. Haste18 on Instagram. HAIST. If I can type it in.
Yes, go for it. Just don't spill the baijiu. We're just gonna refer to it as rubbing alcohol. You're pretty accurate on that statement.
Told you.
Well, I thought you were blowing it out of proportion. 'Cause, as I said, you don't really drink that much. So I was like, oh, he's just being a little girl about it.
I spell adventures. That's one thing is being out there. I felt like my English got really poor.
That's right. You gotta remember I'm that guy who has a spell check, but yet never seems to save me.
Yep. Sometimes you would like slur your words and you'd be trying to say like, there's a water drink I want to have in my mouth. It's like, what? What
Do
did I
they
just
have
say?
bags of soda there?
They had bags of milk. Not bags of soda, really.
That's weird.
Bags of milk. My kids would come back from like PE, and then they would have me next, so they would come in a few minutes before class would start, and they're like all hot and sweaty, and then they would get their drink, and it'd be a warm bag of milk.
Warm?
Warm bag of milk.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. I don't even like milk that much.
Yep. Bags of beer, yes. Yeah, that is a thing. Bags of beer. I think it's during certain times of the year. You see, you look like piss. You look like pee.
I'm drinking my beer Capri Sun over here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Does Budweiser get served in a bag?
No, it's it's like Town or something. I don't remember exactly.
So it's like box wine for them.
Maybe, yeah. But it's just, bags of beer in certain parts. But, alrighty. Well, I don't have anything else to add, but if you guys ever have questions, you guys can always follow me. Where I'm going to be now is a bigger city, and I'm going to be in my own apartment, not at the school's apartment on the school's campus. So I'll be paying for my own internet, and I'm going to pay for like the best. So hopefully I'll have better internet connections, and maybe do some like live streams from like Instagram or Facebook. Stuff like
That'd be cool. I know Instagram Live got pretty popular.
Yeah, it's getting really big. IGTV is really big.
I don't have an Instagram anymore.
I know. I went to like send you something and I couldn't. Find you.
Maybe I might create one. We'll see.
Yeah.
But guys, if you want to follow him, you can follow him. If you
You don't
want,
have to.
If you want chicken feet, I strongly advise you just not to do it. It's fun for like I tried chicken feet, but I would never order that for any reason, ever. Guys, I'll see you later. I'm gonna
See you guys. 再见. It's goodbye in Chinese.
Oh my god, I gotta unhook my phone to turn off the stream.